Hey, I wanted to talk today about the lack of understanding of what it's like to live with an invisible disability or an invisible illness, and I think it's something that we need to change, and quite soon. So, over the last few days, somebody said to me, "I've known you quite a while, and in that time, you haven't struggled with your disability. This is something that we really need to change." I might not look like I struggle with my disabilities. I try not to let those disabilities hinder me in any way, but they are wholeheartedly a part of my life and a part of who I am, and I cannot change that. I struggle every single day with my disabilities, and it may not look like it on the surface because I might look cool and collected and quite calm, and I might not show it because I'm not flapping all the time, but it doesn't mean that I don't struggle. And it's this lack of understanding of how somebody struggles constantly every day, and the fact that you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So I wanted to say, I researched about disabilities, especially autism, because I am on the ASD spectrum, and even going to get a referral from my GP was really hard. And you wouldn't have thought that, because I am normally really quite prepared. I'm organised. I can speak, I can talk. Other people with ASD sometimes can't communicate, so therefore they use their flashcards or they'll use a computer. But I'm okay with communicating as to a point. Because autism, as you know, affects how a person communicates with other people and relates to other people. So I very much take things for face value. So if you say something to me, I'll take it as face value, because I don't see any different. And I think that leads sometimes, and I've asked other people about this who also have other disabilities, not necessarily autism, but other invisible disabilities. I've asked for a lot of people, and I've got a lot of support through my vlogs now, in communities who different communities, wider communities, and they've all said to me that it's actually the lack of understanding and the lack of the knowledge of how people deal with it every single day, because it's hidden, that they think is the biggest worry, the biggest burden, because obviously people who don't live with it don't understand how it affects us daily, and that's one of the things that we need to get across, is how something that is invisible affects somebody so badly every day of their lives. So on the National Autism Society website, they recently did some research, and it showed that the awareness for autism is high, but it is the lack of understanding that they found about what it means to live with autism. And I think it's just a general consensus in all communities that it is that lack of understanding. So people who have autism experience some form of sensory sensitivity. I really can't even get out my words. This is what I mean with the whole communication thing. I have off camera, you can't see it, I have a huge A4 sheet of paper with lots of writing on of what I wanted to talk about, and I've put them in bullet points so I can expand upon them, and I still trip over my words. I still can't even read what I've written properly. It's just one of those days where communication is just not my thing today. So I do apologise for that, but we're just going to roll with it, I think. Yeah, people who have autism experience some form of sensory sensitivity, whether it be undersensitivity, so it may be lights, it may be touch, sound, smell, colour, it can be anything. There's a range of sensory sensitivities. For me, it's clearly light, so I wear these all of the time, every day, and these kind of help my brain to process the light waves that were offending my brain, so they help to correct those light waves so that my world is less bright. If I didn't have these on, my world was really, really bright, a lot brighter than it's meant to be. And obviously to somebody that doesn't have that, you can't understand how bright it was. It's literally, I'll tell you what it's like. You know when it's nighttime, and if you're driving or if you're a passenger in somebody's car and somebody has, those cars that have the LED lights on? Literally, it's like having those on full beam, but every single day, all day long of my life. That's what it's like without these glasses on. So I suffer with the sensitivity to lights, and also at the moment it's sound as well. Sound is a massive thing for me that I struggle with. This is why sometimes if people invite me out, I sometimes decline the offer unless I know I can cope in the situation because of the sensory sensitivities that I have. I do decline offers. It's not that necessarily that I don't want to go, it's just that I know in myself my limits and what I can cope with, and I don't want to put other people through having to try to help me when they should be having a good time. So I always decline offers, and obviously everything that I do is planned. As I said in my previous video, and if you've not seen that, then please do subscribe to my channel and watch. I've done 2 previous videos, one about routine and planning, and the other about a chewy gem review for people who need to chew on things like myself. So go follow Chewy Gem too, because they're amazing. So people on the ASD spectrum, I think, have an important role. So by sharing our experiences of living with it, we can educate those around us. And I think that is massive. And I think it is, like it says, it's huge. It's an important role. I think if we show how we live with it, how we deal with it every day and our struggles every day, I think then people would start to get an understanding of, hang on a minute, I wonder if she struggles with this. I wonder how I can help her with this to overcome that barrier. And it's about breaking down those barriers to make things more accessible, more friendly. And I think it's really about trying to understand. And somebody said to me the other day, I was talking to somebody about this, about communicating with people and how there's a lack of communication. When you communicate with somebody who doesn't have the same disability as you, or doesn't have that understanding of how the disability affects you with communication, it can be really hard to get across your point and to communicate with that person without it being misunderstood or misinterpreted or taken the wrong way, or they think, oh, hang on a minute, she's really horrible. It's because of that processing. I find I need a lot of time to process things, to understand, to process. My brain needs that time to register, to understand all those things that you're saying to me or all those things you've written. And then once I've processed that information, I will then give my response, and I'll try and give it in the best way that I can and in a way that you would understand. But sometimes I think that wires get crossed because people think, oh right, so she means this, and then they'll say, right, you meant this, didn't you? Well, no, actually, I meant exactly what I said. So it's trying to explain that. And somebody said to me, do you know what it's like? It's like trying to talk to an alien. And I actually couldn't agree more. Sometimes I do find that if I'm talking to anybody else that doesn't necessarily have that understanding, who doesn't understand what it's like to communicate and have the sensory processing disorders and things like that, it is like talking to an alien. You can say to somebody, which I did a couple of days ago, that I need time to process. And somebody said to me, it's not about processing though, is it? Well, yes, it is. It's processing is a part of the whole communication and the communicating with others with ASD that comes with it. And for me, the processing, I'm trying to try a new strategy now, of where I'm going to say to people, if they say something to me or if they've messaged me a massive thing, I'm going to start to say to people, hang on a minute, just give me time to process. And then I'm going to go quiet, not say anything, not reply, until my brain has processed what exactly it is that you've said and what you want, or how you want me to reply. Because I always find there's always a way that people want you to reply, or they're always looking for you to say something and you don't necessarily say what they want, and then it's still that communication. So I do find that really hard, and it is like talking to an alien. So I've spoken to a few people who have hidden disabilities, and they've said that there is a definite lack of understanding, and actually it is sometimes the ignorance, because they don't understand. And they've also said that as it doesn't affect their daily lives, they don't understand, and they don't take the time to understand us and know or educate themselves as to how something that is invisible, you don't see it, how it affects that person. So there's definitely a consensus there within other communities with disabilities that are invisible, or illnesses that are invisible. I'm just looking to see if I've not said anything that's on my long list. So give me 2 minutes. I think I've said just about everything now, and this is a really long video. It's already at 10 minutes. But I think it is, you need to, if you're watching this and you don't struggle necessarily with things, and you're fast at processing things, you're fast at reactions, you can get a job done really quickly, and you don't necessarily have struggles where you struggle every day, like even just struggling to get out of bed, or struggle, you don't have a solid routine where you have to stick to it every day. I think it's important that you then try to research, you try to understand what it's like for somebody who has a routine every single day, who finds challenges every single day. And it's those challenges that I think, once those barriers and that conversation is started, it's just about that, starting that conversation with somebody. Once you've started that conversation, it opens up so many doors, and those barriers you find start to come down. And I think that is one of the key things, is trying to break down those barriers so that our challenges are broken down. Because I face challenges almost every day, and a few of these challenges recently had started to get me down, and luckily I have really good friends and a good support network around me who do understand, because we work in a caring role, who do understand and have said to me, don't let this get you down, don't think of it as a challenge, think of it as something that you've really struggled with but you have overcome, and you've taken that first step to trying to overcome something that you've really found hard. So don't think of it as a negative, try to change it into a positive. And I think that is also key, is trying to turn these barriers that we face every day into positive things that that will make our lives a lot easier, in a sense where if we're thinking of it as negative all the time, then we are going to be quite down and within ourselves. But all I wanted to say, I'm going to make it a final quick note because we're on 12 minutes now. What I want to say is that please, if you know somebody who has been diagnosed with something, or who is currently in the process of doing this, who doesn't look disabled or doesn't look ill, please take that time to understand that person. Speak to that person. Understand what it is that they struggle with, and try to put into place help and support for that person, to help them to overcome these things that they struggle with, to help them to fit in, to help everyone around them within the workplace, or whether it be within friendship groups, whatever it may be, help that person to feel equal, because ultimately it's the equality and the diversity that the world that we live in now, I think, personally, lacks. And once we fix that, I think then it will open doors for other people who have invisible disabilities and illnesses. So together, please, let's try to change our understanding. Let's try and make it an equal world for everybody. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video or like my other 2 videos, go subscribe to my channel, and please like the video. And if you have a comment, or if you have a disability or anything, just please pop it in the comments box below, and I will try and get back to you, because I've had so much feedback and such great comments, and people messaging me saying that you're so brave, you're opening up doors for me, I understand exactly what you're going through, what you're saying is what I'm going through. I've had lots of people, so please keep that coming. Thank you so much.